Hello and welcome into Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and on today's episode, we dive into the Patriots becoming history makers in the NFL. Well, at least the second team to ever do so. We'll give you exactly what that stat is and what it has to do with a very youthful offensive line set for Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. A new running back enters the fold for the Pats. We also take a look at the wide receiver core for the Patriots. Their star and up-and-coming rookie, both Stephon Diggs and Kyle Williams, in a deep dive into what they will mean for the Patriots, especially in the coming weeks. Before we get into everything, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think about the offensive line for the Patriots. And is there too much youth and too many question marks in front of Drake May? Or is this the right way to build up in front of them? Also, make sure you give us that like and go back and check out all of our old episodes after this one. We start with that indeed with the offensive line, and it is looking very, very young, is the best way to put it. You are going to have more than likely starters at both left tackle and left guard who are rookies, first rounders and third rounders. Will Campbell obviously entrenched at that left tackle spot, and Jared Wilson, the center, now left guard from Georgia, is set to take hold of that left guard spot and run with it. The Patriots, should that be the starting combo when we get to week one against the Raiders, will be just the second team in NFL history to open a season with rookies at both left tackle and left guard. Now, yes, that should give everyone pause because you really shouldn't be starting two rookies on the blind side and left side of your offensive line, especially when playing a second-year quarterback who's only got half of a season worth of starts under his belt as well. But this is a different type of amalgamation in front of Drake May. They made the decision to go with Will Campbell, drafting him at number 4 overall, and he's already shown the early returns. After week 1 in the preseason, he had the highest grade of any rookie in the NFL at 85.4, the PFF grade for him there. Best performance by rookie, period. He had 8 pass blocking snaps and 0 pressures allowed in those snaps. We saw the mauling attitude, especially on those crack and snap and release, just getting after people. And hopefully that continues to translate. Same for Wilson, who has jumped into the guard spot and has been regarded as one of the best offensive linemen that the Patriots have. And it's not just stopping there. There seems to be yet another player. They started 3 rookies against the Commanders in week 1 because Marcus Bryant, the 7th rounder out of Missouri, got the start at right tackle because Morgan Moses is having his snaps and time out on the field monitored because he is an older player at 34 years of age. He should be. And if he's not ready, you could absolutely see 3 rookies start on this line. And then suddenly you're making much different types of history. And I think, again, it should be giving you pause because that's not what you want to see in front of Drake May on paper. But when you start to look at it on tape, on film, and what you're seeing, just the eye test, these guys are playing football. They are getting after it, and they're not making some of the rookie mistakes that you necessarily see. And if they do, they're quickly learning from it. And I think a testament must go to offensive line coach Doug Marrone, who is getting these guys up to snuff right away. And I think when it comes to Marcus Bryant, yes, don't expect him to start at right tackle, but he has become that swing tackle that the Patriots envisioned Caden Wallace becoming, and now Caden Wallace becomes your backup guard at both spots, and suddenly Cole Strange's spot is very much in jeopardy. So again, this leads into a lot of the familiar names that you've heard in the past couple of years potentially not being on this team, and later this week we will go into roster projection 2.0, who's in, who's out, and who is going to be a big surprise on not making this Patriots roster. Speaking of the Patriots roster, they are adding to the running back spot. The the season-ending injury to undrafted free agent rookie Lan Larison opens up a spot in the running back room, and the Patriots have quickly added to it. They've actually done it twice. They did sign Deneric Prince who the former Tulsa standout, was with the Patriots for a couple days, but really didn't make it out of the trainer's room. Identified an injury for him, so have waived with an injury designation, and now decided to go with a different All-American in the backfield. His name is Shane Watts, and something very much in common with Land Larison as a small school, but this one even more so, not UC Davis, but a D2 player. Fort Hays State, and for me, as a former college football sports information director working for Yale University, Brown University, the American Athletic Conference, that was a school even I hadn't heard of. So, again, Patriots leaving no stone unturned, bringing in Watts here, and an interesting story at the very least. He spent the first 2 seasons as a defensive back before making the switch to running back his last 2 years, checking in at 5'9" and 195, a smaller back, but a multi-purpose back guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield. So again, really taking that spot of Land Larison and things that he could potentially do. In those 2 years, really stepped up, and last year he had over 1,700 all-purpose yards, including 17 touchdowns out of the backfield. So, again, an interesting signing and one to watch, especially over the next 2 games here, if he can quickly get up to speed. And there could be opportunity. Ramondre Stevenson has missed the past few days, and don't expect him to play this coming weekend. Travion Henderson only played 7 snaps, and they will likely want to mothball him, not opening him up to any potential injuries. Same for Antonio Gibson, who has nothing to prove at this point. And then you look further down the list, Terrell Jennings missed practice as well, likely due to a heat-related incident, so hopefully he will be coming back. Then the only other healthy running back is JaMychal Hasty, who was also just signed a few weeks ago as well. So a lot of opportunity in this backfield for the Patriots, and one that an All-American, at least at the D2 level, could be making some waves. And if he can make some people miss and find his way into the end zone, there could be some opportunity there as well. Some opportunities are worth taking a second look at. I think there has been a lot of questions about the Patriots wide receiver room the past couple of years, and rightly so. It has been one that has been much maligned. There hasn't been a lot of production out of it. I read the other day that the Patriots, talking about guys like Efton Chisholm or even guys like Jalen Polk fighting back through injury, they said it could be tough for Jalen Polk to come back from a lot of missed time from this injury that he now has in a stacked Patriots wide receiver room. Yes, a stacked Patriots wide receiver room. That is because you have Stephon Diggs and Mac Hollins, Pop Douglas taking the next step, Kayshon Boutte proving he can be a starter in this league. That's 4 players in front of the top draft pick in Kyle Williams, not to mention Efton Chisholm, and then Polk and Baker also wanting to fight for spots. But we've seen Kyle get rave reviews, Tom Brady giving him a message and shout out. But is it time to temper some of those expectations? Because Kyle will be a rookie wide receiver, and life is tough on rookie wide receivers in the NFL. Williams, to his credit, said that he continues to pick Diggs' brain. Diggs is giving him quote unquote gems to help him, one of his favorites, saying, "Don't confuse the result with the process." And I think that is very telling because there is a big process that Kyle Williams is going to have to go through. There's a lot he needs to learn within Josh McDaniels' offense. And there is a reason why Kyle Williams is not playing fully with Drake May. He is playing with Josh Dobbs. He is playing with the second team offense. And to the point where Josh Dobbs, reflected on Friday's preseason opener and was quoted as saying, "I told Kyle I owe him a touchdown because he missed him on a few throws, and Kyle Williams doing his job by getting open." And again, I think Kyle Williams is doing a great job. I think you're going to see a lot of flash plays, but I think he's going to be further down on this list, especially at the start of the season, than you might expect. You might think that he's got the talent, throw him into the fire, put him ahead of Boutte, put him ahead of Mac Hollins, put him out there with Diggs and Pop Douglas to start and let him run. I don't think he's going to leapfrog all those guys right up front. I think he's going to have to earn it. I think he's going to have to string it together. I think, again, they're going to let him have his time in the preseason games, but there are guys in front of him. This is not last year's uh, wide receiver room anymore. So, again, Kyle Williams has a ton of potential, a ton of talent, but I think he has a ton of guys in front of him right now. So it is time to give it a little bit of time and see what Kyle can do by growing in this offense first. Finally, we take a look at Stefon Diggs and the latest of, obviously we didn't see him in week one. Question if we will see him in week two for the preseason or the preseason at all. And the expectation is that he will be ready for week one, but is that really the case? Did miss week one with quote unquote coach's decisions, but wide receiver coach Todd Downing was commenting on Stefon Diggs and what he's going through right now. And we'll share with you exactly what he said. And Downing went on saying, I think where he's at in this process right now is where we want him to be. He's working hard when he's out there with his reps and you see him making plays. The big thing with him is understanding that we can't confuse results with the process. So again, you hear the same thing coming from Downing, coming from Diggs, going down to Williams. This is exactly what you want to hear. So if there's a day he doesn't have a whole bunch of production, that doesn't mean he didn't do his job and get open. So again, it's for Diggs, it's for Kyle Williams, it's for everybody. They're going to give this to everyone. But furthermore, for Diggs, it's saying the process for him is going to have to be learning the system, learning exactly what the quarterback and what Josh are looking for, making sure that he's in the right spot at the right time. He continues to find that I think he'll have the trajectory we expect him to be on. So not just for Kyle Williams, it is for Stefon Diggs here as well, is that, this is a guy who, when he's healthy, is regarded as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And again, we said earlier in Pat's latest, probably about a month ago, is Stefon Diggs still a top 25 receiver in this league? And I think Stefon wants to prove that he is. I think he will get that opportunity. I think it won't be in the preseason, but I think once you get to week one, there's going to be a lot of hungry football players for the Patriots, including Stefon Diggs, and show you exactly what he's made of. That'll do it for us here on this episode of Pat's Latest. Again, make sure you go down, subscribe for the channel, get in the comments, and let us know what you think about the Patriots wide receiver room, all the youth on that offensive line, and what the Pats needs to do in the pecking order for that running back room. Make sure you give us a like and go back and check out all of our old episodes so you know exactly what's going on with your New England Patriots in advance of preseason game number 2. We'll continue to have it right here for you. Fight on, Foxborough.